Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about adding and subtracting integers. As you already know, integers are the numbers that we have positive, negative, and zero. We can find or we can locate the integers number in the number line. We have zero in the middle, that is called origin. To the left part we have the negative number, and to the right part we have the positive numbers. But to add and subtract integers, we have some specific rules. We need to remember that equal signs, we're gonna add and we're gonna keep the sign of the bigger number. Different signs, we're gonna subtract and we're gonna copy the sign of the bigger number. So, for example, if we have, imagine that you have negative 5 plus 10. So both are different signs. So we need to subtract them. 10 minus 5, it's 5, right? And then you have to thinking, what number is greater, 5 or 10? So it's 5, right? What is the sign for 10? So it's positive. So the answer is going to be positive. So please try to remember these two rules because it's so important in any operation with adding and subtracting integers. Now, I will explain you some exercises about integers adding and subtracting. For example, here we have some rules. You can identify these rules are equal signs and different signs using this number line. For example, we have the integers elevator. We have from 0 to this position and from 0 to this position to the negative 8. For example, we had the first example, positive 3 and positive 5. So both are positive, or it's say are equal signs, so we're gonna add. So the answer is going to be positive. Why? Because 5 is greater than 3 and the sign for 5 is positive. Now in the second one we have 1 plus 4, positive 1 and positive 4. Both are equal signs. So who is greater, 4 or 1? So it's 4. We add them and it's gonna be 5, and the sign for the greater number is positive, so the answer is going to be positive. Or you can identify that like travels up, both number travels up, or both number travels down. For example, here we have another two numbers. For example, as you can see, we have negative 2, so where it's located here, and we have negative 3. So negative 2 plus negative 3. Negative 2, and then we're going to move down 3 units. Why down? Because it's negative. So 1, 2, and 3. And our answer is going to be negative 5. So if you can see, as you remember this operation, we have different sign, equal signs we add and keep the sign of the bigger number. What is the bigger number? It's 3. So the answer of 3 it's negative, so the answer is going to be negative. Now we have the second one, negative 3 plus negative 4. So we have negative 3 and negative 4. Both are equal sign. So we're gonna apply this rule and we're gonna add and keep the sign. So we add 3 plus 4, it's 7. And we keep the sign. What is the sign? Negative. So it's going to be negative 7. Or using the number line or the elevator, integers elevator, you can identify, for example, here, negative 3, and then we move down for units. Why down? Because if we're gonna move negative 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're gonna get the position number negative 7. Now here we have the positive 2 and positive 6. We're gonna start in positive 2, and this one we're gonna travel up because it's positive position. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and we're gonna get the value of positive 8. It's another way to identify without these rules, but remember this one is just applying but numbers that are from 1 to 10 basically. But when you have greater numbers like greater than 100 or greater than 1000, we're gonna apply these rules. Now we have negative 5 plus negative 1. Negative 5, which is here, and then we're gonna move down 1 unit, so it's going to be negative 6. Or you can thinking in the rules, equal signs we add and keep the sign. Why are equal sign? Because it's negative 5 and negative 1. So we add them, 5 plus 1, that is 6, and we keep the sign. What is the sign of both one? It's negative. Okay? So it's important to remember the integers rules. Now, if we're gonna add and subtract some integers. For example, here we have negative 5 plus 10. If, as you can see, this is negative 5 and this is positive 10. So we have different numbers, so different signs. So we're gonna subtract 10 minus 5, it's 5. Now we're gonna choose the sign for the answer. So who's greater, negative 5 or positive 10? It's 10, right? So the answer is going to be positive. Now we have negative 23 minus 30. Equal signs because it's negative 23 and negative 30. So equal signs, we add them and keep the sign. Remember the rule. You have to memorize the rule. Now we have 40 minus 56. So we have positive 40 and negative 56. So this one we need to subtract them because are different signs. So we're gonna get 56 minus 40 is 16. Now we're gonna thinking in the sign for the answer. And you have to put which number is greater, 40 or 56. So it's 56. So the answer of 56, the sign of 56 is negative. So the answer is going to be negative. Now here we have another one, negative 520 plus 100. This one is a negative and this one is positive. So different signs, we subtract them. So 520 minus 100 is going to be 420. Now you have to thinking in the sign. What number is greater, 520 or 100? 520. What is the sign of 520? It's negative. So we located with negative number. Now here, as you can see, we have negative 203 minus 303. So these two numbers are negative and negative. This negative is for 300. It's not that sign, okay? It's not the minus sign. So equal signs, we're going to add, and 203 plus 303, it's 506. Now remember the rule, equal signs, we add them and keep the sign. Now we have negative 890 a minus 110. So equal signs because this one is negative 890 and this one is negative 110. So remember the rule, equal signs, we're going to add and keep the sign. What is the sign of both numbers? It's negative, so we're gonna keep. Now we can identify some additions and subtractions of integers in real life. I'm going to give you some example. For example, if you're thinking in this picture, this picture is related with the integer number, okay? Now, we have, for example, the sea level. As you can see, down to this figure or this stickman, it's negative position, and to the up, it's positive position. Or you can subtract the distance from this stickman to this one and the distance from this stickman to this one. And maybe if you subtract this minus this, you're gonna get a negative answer. Now, for example, in profit, so here you have 2,500 and you have profit lost. So that means that you lost money. So it's you can represent with a negative number. Or for example, look at this figure. We have a 3, but now we take out this one maybe to buy something, and now we don't have this quantity that we already have it of money in our things. Now, so as you can see, we can identify integers in different in everywhere. So because remember, math is in everywhere. So please remember the two important rules. Equal signs, we add them and keep the sign. Different signs, we subtract them and copy the number, the sign of the bigger number. Okay?